thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, dozens of workers fired from the newly opened Celebration Key, causing an uproar. Now, Beyond the Headlines is learning more tonight. Were the workers stealing? There's a good question for you. Was it a case of not getting past the probation period? Well, we get the story and just what the employment situation is like on Celebration Key and a response from the Grupo Anderson's group. It's all coming up for you this evening. Also, the Free National Movement questioning the sale, status, and state of the Grand Lucayan Resort. Mainly, when will the people of Grand Bahama see movement on the property? Also tonight, scathing allegations from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Rangers Summer Program. Parents are alleging physical and sexual abuse. We talk about that as well. And former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is supporting the Davis administration's move to introduce biometric voters cards. We'll tell you what Dr. Minnis has to say. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along. Social media buzzing with any number of allegations from Celebration Key today. Reports of mass firings, poor treatment of staff, a disconnect between staff and the foreign operators of a component on the Key, and more. Key figures from the Department of Labor have been in Grand Bahama since last week, following up on the allegations to determine what, if anything, is going on. Quinton LaRota, Executive Manager in the Ministry of Labor, joins me this evening. Good evening to you, Mr. LaRota. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. A whole lot being said all over the place on social media today about what's happening at Celebration Key, about the fact that Bahamians are being treated like animals and they are being enslaved and just so much. What exactly is going on there?
Well, we got some complaints at our office in Grand Bahama as well about mistreatment of Bahamians at the Key, at Celebration Key. We assembled a team quickly that same day, and we had a meeting with the management at 4 o'clock that afternoon, and we also asked our OSHA team, that's Occupational Safety and Health Administration team. They joined myself and Mr. Bo, who is one of the managers of the Labor Department down there, and we met with the management team. It was myself and Mr. Bo, about 16 or 17 managers and supervisors from the Key, along with a representative from Carnival. Grupo Anderson is a company contracted by Carnival to provide food and beverage services for their guests. And so they're a separate entity from Carnival. But all of us, we met with them. We addressed each complaint that we found. There was about 9 of them. We found most of them to not have merit, but the few that did.
So what examples like what? Because, you know, it's quite disturbing, I'll tell you. And the reason I want you to give just 1 or 2 examples. There are others in Grand Bahama, many people. First of all, they are happy for what's happening at Celebration Key. There obviously will be some, you know, getting to know you kind of little hiccups in the road. But they were highly insulted and angered, reached out to me about the fact that what's going on? What are these people doing with something that has come to this island and is really making a difference already?
Right. Well, what I would caution people is that when you hear information and it's sensationalized, let's stop and think for a moment and try to seek out the authorities who could give you the relevant truth with the situation, and not share and pass on things that are sensationalized or which motives might be ulterior. Let's look at the beginning. Grupo Anderson came in and they wanted to hire in excess of 600 Bahamians. They partnered with the Department of Labor in a job fair exercise to recruit, and that was the first level of screening. And then those workers that were hired, there's a 3-month probationary period. And during that period, they are free to terminate your services if you don't fit the bill.
So you mean under 3 weeks, some of them didn't cut it?
I guess they didn't. However, our job as the Department of Labor is to ensure that the rights of the workers are protected and that Bahamians are treated according to what's the reasonable expectations in the Bahamas.
So we'll get to that because that's some of the complaints that, listen, these people must not know that you're entitled to 2 15-minute breaks and a 60-minute lunch and all the rest of it. But before we get there, I'd like to ask you this. Was there stealing going on at Celebration Key by Bahamians, allegedly?
Well, I've gotten reports about the stealing. It was confirmed for me that several Bahamians were terminated due to stealing, which is why I think the whole mass social media situation is unfortunate, because now those Bahamians are going that were let go from Celebration Key, they're going to look for jobs in other industries. And now because of this social media situation, employers might look at them and say, well, if you come from Celebration Key, I'm not going to hire you because you're a thief. So something that may have been done to hurt the company may now reflect negatively on those Bahamians.
Yeah.
So what I want to say to those Bahamians that have been terminated is report to the Department of Labor in Grand Bahama. We have an employee exchange program. We will try to find jobs for you. That's a part of our mandate as well, that we are there to assist you and to put you in. And sometimes even with the probationary period, some workers may find that is not the type of job or that is not to their liking anymore and may want to do something else.
Yeah.
It isn't always that management sees someone and says, well, you're not fit. Sometimes a worker says, you know something, I have a better offer. Or I was doing something before that I can go back to and I no longer want to do this. But what I want to show the Bahamian public is that the Department of Labor addressed the concerns and the complaints.
Well, let's talk about some of those. I understand they felt Bahamians, used to sort of a certain working conditions and rules and operations, felt they were being enslaved or they were being treated like slaves.
Right.
Well, explain that.
So I'll give you, well, let me say the first thing first, that we was strongest, most adamant about. Because sometimes you have cultural differences. So what we made clear to the leadership team from Group O. Anderson, especially the expat supervisors, in the Bahamas, you're not allowed to speak down to Bahamians, insult them racially or their ethnicity, or speak bad about our country.
Also, they were being called certain words that
well, they denied it.
That are triggering.
Yeah, they denied it, but just in case it happened.
Just in case you tempted.
Yeah, I just said that is a no-no, and that would result in a one-way ticket out of our country. Let me say, we ain't playing that one ain't gonna work. Yeah. We ain't playing that one. That's the first thing. And then the conditions, then the Bahamas that we consider regular and humane, that you would provide, Celebration Key is hot, that you would provide water stations for the employees. Now, what they said happened is when the Key first opened, that they used to provide bottled water for the employees. They found out that was a tremendous expense, and they switched to providing water stations where you could go to a filtered
throughout the
water,
property, and you could able to
get
just
water
drink water
that way. Of course, if you're a Bahamian and for the first 2 or 3 days you was getting bottled water, and now it's switched to.
Listen, man.
No, what I'm saying is, we might say, man, what you complaining about? But for them, it was a concern.
Yeah, how that get to be a concern?
Because it was a concern for them, it's something.
They won't get paid, right?
It's something the Labor Department addressed.
So what they're having on Fiji?
And we no, they're not having Fiji. But what they do is they have a reasonable access to water during the working hours, which is the expectation, and which would meet a certain standard. Yes. And so that was
okay. So the people say, give us back our bottled water, because don't do that. You all get us used to this. Don't try and switch it.
And then there was some complaints about the food and the quality of food, and we addressed that.
You mean the food for the staff?
Right, the food for the staff. We addressed that. They said that no, that's not the case. They defended what they provided. But since we've been there, we've gotten calls back to say that the food that they're now providing is good and is hot, and they are appreciative of that. Okay. There was also some concerns related to remuneration and the gratuity. That is going to be addressed, and I think the situation is going to be even better for the Bahamian staff afterwards. In fact, I'm really excited about that, because that seems they're going to put some good money in Bahamian pockets.
Good. So you're all going down there now cause them to gain greater
because
further
see, we
payment.
anticipated in the Labor Department that when they came in, that because of the different cultures, right? Grupo Anderson, they manage resorts throughout the region, but this is now the first time they're managing a resort in the Bahamas, and Bahamians have a standard of living, a history, a way of life, and an expectation that as long as it's reasonable, we feel that the employer should make every effort to meet that.
Yeah.
And we think with our involvement and monitoring and advice that it's going to get better there. And I'm looking forward to, and even my background is unionism, and I was always one to say, let's fight for the ideal. So the ideal there is for Carnival and Grupo Anderson to make a bunch of money, and for the tourists to be very pleased, and for the Bahamian workers to be rewarded for their effort,
Yes.
and that they make a bunch of money as well.
Yes.
And Grand Bahama resumes its economic great viability, and that the magic in the city returns. And as a Grand Bahamian, that is my hope and that is my prayer. So I'm fighting for all the things that are positive for the island that I'm from, that I call home, along with Abaco. So let me put that in there too for my Abaco people.
Just kind of insert that. And so was there anything, did you also address issues of maybe just working extended long hours without breaks?
Yeah, what we said to them on no uncertain terms, 40 hours is a standard work week. Anything beyond that is overtime. 8 hours a day is your standard work day. Beyond that, it's overtime. You cannot schedule somebody to work 9 and 10 hours. They denied that they was doing that, but even whether they denied it or not, we laid it out on the line
Just
based
so
on
that
our
it's
labor
understood.
laws. So that it's understood.
Yes, when a company like that comes into the Bahamas and you as a senior manager in the Ministry of Labor, what do you all do so that this big row don't have to happen to begin with? How do you all handle that and say, listen, you all are new to this workspace, here are our labor laws, so that everybody starts off on an equal footing and have a better way of an ease of getting into the market?
Well, perhaps going forward, we could be more involved. But what we found encouraging is that the HR personnel were Bahamians. One of the things we admonished the expat to do is follow the advice of the Bahamian HR personnel, because they would know the Bahamian culture. We also are saying to the Bahamian HR personnel, and I come from the labor movement, we fought like hell. Sorry, I don't think you use hell on the air. But we fought really hard.
Words have been used.
Okay. But we fought really hard to get Bahamians in position of managers and HR directors and so forth. And so when you hold at that position, you're home in your country, you needn't fear anything.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I also say to the Bahamian people, we need productive, engaged.
Say that.
Productive, engaged, honest workforce that conduct themselves properly and with integrity.
Because the
investors
and the
are
lobster.
investing to make money.
Yes, exactly.
To make their money, and like the Bible say, a honest day's work for honest day's pay.
Yeah.
And so, but what I like though, and I was singing and dancing when the management from Carnival would have said that their guests from the ship was ecstatic about the service they received from the Bahamian people. And so if the guests are happy and we're providing the type of service that they're looking forward to, I think that is a good step in the right direction.
Very good.
And it gives something that all sides could build on.
Absolutely.
And so,
I mean, after
so
all,
even though
you have
this
to keep those
social media
people
stuff,
happy so that they come.
Yeah,
and
I
social
remain-
media will do what it does. So
I remain optimistic that we could iron out these things. And then as far as the 70-something workers being let go on a mass termination, that did not happen.
it's not
That-
70. What was the
no.
number?
It's about 5% of the 600 and something, so about 33, 34 over the last 2 to 3 weeks that were
So for the
were
workers who
terminated.
stole, were they stealing steak and lobster?
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to even.
Because my lord.
I don't want to focus on any worker that stole, because
Yes.
those people may have made a mistake, but there are people and they're going to have to look for future employment. And so I wanted that out of the airways and out of the media. We could rehabilitate those people. The Labor Department could help them to get reemployed.
Yes, of course.
And then they will not violate any of the 10 commandments, including the one that says, thou shalt not steal.
Meanwhile, here's an official statement from Grupo Andersons, came in just this evening. We are aware of recent rumors circulating online concerning Grupo Andersons and our operations at Celebration Key. We want to make it absolutely clear that these claims are false, inaccurate, and misleading. Grupo Andersons operates with the highest standards of integrity, professionalism, and transparency. Any suggestion to the contrary misrepresents who we are and the values we stand for. We are fully committed to providing outstanding experiences at Celebration Key while upholding the trust and confidence of our valued guests, 645 team members and partners. Should you have, and of course they went to say, of course, how you can contact them, but that's a statement from the Grupo Andersons management team, the team that Carnival has engaged to kind of just manage its food services and all that stuff, where mainly most of the Bahamians are employed. And
I want to say, in our interaction with the management team, the meeting went well. They weren't defensive. They didn't try to fight or kick back. I think we all realized that there's some cultural differences, and those have to be addressed. And I think once that management team, the experts, understand, and then another thing too, Bahamians are well trained in the tourism sector. They know food and beverage. They understand how to serve American guests in particular, even though we service people from around the world. And some of them might even know a bit more about those things than some of the managers that are being brought in.
Yes, sir.
That may be a source of conflict as well. I think when those things are ironed out and you could exchange ideas and you could learn, I think it's going to go well. But the Labor Department in Grand Bahama is monitoring the situation. We are well involved. We have the contacts of the managers. We speak and we talk, and there's dialogue. And so I am very optimistic. It's unfortunate that it went the social media way, with the sensationalism.
Yes.
And what I think is most unfortunate is that it may backfire on some of those workers that were terminated, in that this accusation now that they may have stolen from the company. And so we want to get away from that.
Keep your hands to yourself. No sticky fingers with the next job. I thank you, Mr. LaRota. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. When we come back, I am going to be joined by the Hot Topics panel, and I'll tell you this, I want to ask them about that, because if you all remember it, we may laugh at it, but it really isn't funny, because Eleuthera, which is now rebounded and rebounding, had this issue for decades, where the people allegedly stole from, whether it's second home owners and a whole lot of the resorts and stuff there, and therefore the people just packed up and left. And so, come on, man, let's be honest, let's do things right. Beyond the Headlines is back right after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Introducing Hands for Hunger's The Budget Gourmet, the sizzling new cooking show where 5-star flavor meets everyday ingredients. From pantry staples to farmers market's finds, join Chef Mo as we turn local, low-cost ingredients into gourmet magic, one dish at a time. Want your brand on the table? We're now inviting sponsors to be a part of this delicious journey. Get in early and let your name shine where flavor meets finesse. The Budget Gourmet, everyday ingredients with a gourmet twist.
The Budget Gourmet. We're making it sweet, low cost meals you can't defeat. Tastes so good, it makes you move. Hands for
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
Introducing Hands for Hunger's The Budget Gourmet, the sizzling new cooking show where five-star flavor meets everyday ingredients. From pantry staples to farmers market's finds, join Chef Mo as we turn local, low-cost ingredients into gourmet magic, one dish at a time. Want your brand on the table? We're now inviting sponsors to be a part of this delicious journey. Get in early and let your name shine where flavor meets finesse. The Budget Gourmet, everyday ingredients with a gourmet twist.
The Budget Gourmet. We're making it sweet, low-cost meals you can't defeat. Tastes so good, it makes you move. Hands for Hunger is in the crew. The Budget Gourmet.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. Of course, we started tonight's show with the issue at Celebration Key in Grand Bahama, not even a month open, and having some issues there and also letting go of some staff. You heard the senior manager in the Ministry of Labor, Quinton LaRota, talk about exactly what's going on, and it is not as what is being said all day on social media. He clarified that for us. Some people were let go, they didn't meet the probation, and there were other allegations of perhaps stealing and all the rest of it. Not perhaps, but yeah. And so, they just parted ways. I also read a statement from the company, Grupo Andersons, and we're going to start right there with the Hot Topics panel. We're going to talk about, the fact that Celebration Key really is sort of this jump off for the Grand Bahama economy that is poised to do amazing things. But then you have these growing pains and stuff that's happening here and all that was said on social media today. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Leslie Miller and Howard Grant. It's good to have you here. Good evening to you. Of course, Howard Grant is a talk show host of his own. It's good to have you here, Howard. Leslie, good evening to you. Gentlemen, your thoughts on just all that unfolded at Celebration Key in the last, I guess since last week and then today.
It's absolutely wonderful to be back, Janique. It's been a while, and I'm grateful to be here in this kind of a space with you. You know, Grand Bahama has a special place for me in my heart. Being a native Grand Bahamian myself, being from 8 Mile Rock, and relentlessly hearing about this sort of an idea of a resurgence, an opportunity for a boom to happen in Grand Bahama. We saw that kind of the festive environment that existed when they opened up the other day, and the celebration that actually existed, and so many persons went down and calling their MP to see if they can get some tickets, and we saw a great deal of the cabinet descend in that particular space. It was a jubilant environment. And then right after, we're hearing this sort of allegations, these speculations, and even exacerbating the thing, making the thing expansive and say, 70 people is too much. It's too much.
35.
It was too much, right? And so now to be able to identify these things, we got to go back to training, we got to go back to soft skills, we got to go back to the development of those things. And this, I think, is a representation for us always to be prepared, because we have been crying out spiritually, physically,
for decades.
For a long time.
Grand Bahama's been crying for decades.
We've been crying out for an opportunity to be able to find something, but we were not prepared. And your children now, because you know the older generation gone off, they find their jobs, they settled, they moved. A lot of persons moved to Nassau elsewhere. The second generation, third generation, it seems as though they have nefarious undertone. Not all. I can't throw the whole thing in the bucket because 600 and some persons that were hired. But this small percentage could be able to put a sting of the potential what we see coming to Grand Bahama if we don't get back to those soft skills and tell people to stop thieving.
That.
Praise Jesus.
That.
You know, all the joy and celebrations that we held for the last week or so was very enlightening and very heartful for the people of Grand Bahama. All of us, I think, felt pride and immense joy that Grand Bahama is now getting back onto its 2 feet. We're still waiting the word from the government with regard to the Lucayan Hotel, that sale is going to be finalized, and that people are going to be able to move on with their lives and really appreciate what is going on in Grand Bahama. It's unfortunate that some 35 persons, you know, had to be demitted from the posts that they held. But remember, this is company just started less than 2 weeks. You expect these are growing pains. They're minor infractions that probably took place. There's a different mentality between the Americans and the Bahamians with regard to what should and shouldn't be, what shouldn't be tolerated. Yeah. I think we got to forgive those who didn't know what was going on or decided to do things the old way instead of, you know, pointing in the right direction. So let's hope that that's in the past, and that those persons who replace them would do what is necessary to enable the company to move forward with grace and with appreciation for things Bahamian. So let's move on from that now.
So we just gonna say it like that?
Yeah, ain't not much more you say.
We just gonna excuse. I mean, because you know,
we just don't want it to be able to develop into something bigger.
Yeah.
So Grammy say a liar is a thief and a thief is a murderer. Let's just
Exactly.
keep it right here, where the allegations of stealing, the allegations of stealing was too much. Is enough. And so let's find ourselves back into a position where we can revive and bounce back.
Fair enough. Well, still on Grand Bahama, the opposition Free National Movement is raising concerns over delays with major developments in Grand Bahama, pointing to the 76 days that have passed since a heads of agreement was signed for the sale and redevelopment of the Grand Lucaya Resort. With no public update and no confirmation of payment and no clarity on the terms of the $120 million deal. In a strongly worded statement, the FNM is accusing the Davis administration of keeping Bahamians in the dark. The FNM is also questioning the status of the long-promised redevelopment of the island's international airport. According to the statement, a senior executive from Concord, Wilshire, the proposed developer of the Grand Lucayan, recently linked the future of the project directly to the completion of the airport. Now, despite the government's assurances, the FNM says there's still no sign of groundbreaking, and with August 2025 around the corner, that lack of progress poses a direct threat to Grand Bahama's tourism revival. The statement reads in part, "We don't need slogans, we need progress, real construction, real investment, and real leadership." Until then, they argue the promise that Grand Bahama is back remains just another empty line from the government. And that, gentlemen, is a statement read really in its entirety from the Free National Movement, who says, when you're going to actually be doing something, be about it instead of all this talk, which isn't showing much.
Listen, it's an absolutely exhausting thing that if you go on social media right now, despite what we've just been able to talk about with Celebration Key, despite the allegations, despite this sort of an exorbitant concept that 70 persons have been fired, there are young people all over TikTok that are celebrating the idea of an expanding Grand Bahama. There are people, my family members and other persons who are saying, listen, Grand Bahama moving. See, my concern is not your politics. My concern is not your slogans and the concepts that you could be able to hit the government in the windpipe and be able to say, all right, we got him now, right? My concern is not for you to be able to retain the 5 seats. I don't know whether or not we can get like this today. We can talk like this today? I don't know whether or not the FNM believes that the hopes of retaining 5 seats, that they could be able to say whatever it is because maybe everything else is dismal. Maybe everything else is in the dark. Maybe you did all your analytics and you recognize the only saving grace to have 5 members in the House of Assembly may exist in Grand Bahama. But the truth of the matter is that we cannot use this as a political football. Now, I agree with the fact that $827 million concept, being able to do a groundbreaking without understanding whether or not there's a parallel movement for the growth and development of the airport, simultaneously, you shouldn't have signed the deal in the first place. But you did sign the deal. You made an agreement to the Bahamian people, and we expect you to see it through. There's no contingent. There's no contingent in this position to say, well, the money is contingent on whether or not the airport is finished. Sir, when you signed the deal, the airport wasn't finished. You need to stop and move forward with the growth and development of Grand Bahama like you have committed. Okay, praise God.
You know, I feel that I read that story today with a gentleman from Biometric Group who indicated for the first time publicly that their projections were tied to the airport. I don't think that's fair to say.
Leslie, we've been talking about this before. He signed the deal.
They knew exactly what the hell was going on.
You know what the deal was.
Those who came before them knew what was going on. And the airport is going to be initiated and started and be completed. But I don't see how they now putting that to say that's the reason why they haven't started.
That's standing in the way.
And I don't appreciate that.
The UK Exim Bank has already given, I think it was $400 million. They spliced the $400 million into $200 million was supposed to go into Grand Bahama. We had conversations with a great deal of persons who says, Howard, we haven't seen anything come up out of the airport. We haven't seen anything in these, but there are persons talking about, oh, I know the back deal and I know this. And listen, we don't want to hear none of that. The Grand Bahamian people, my people, the persons who have moved to Abaco, moved to Grand Bahama, Andres, Exuma, all over the world, who desire to come back home, is waiting with bated breath for you to be able to take this project to another level. We have seen Grand Bahama sit in this position for far too long, and we won't celebrate like Long Island, who is now saying, well, you know, the FNM hasn't done nothing for us for a long time. Maybe we should give a look to the people who gave us this dock and this and that. We want to celebrate in Grand Bahama because it's time, and this is our season. Talk to me.
I just think we need to bring these investors to the forefront, call a spade a spade. I agree that the opposition has some points there that it needs to be clarified. The Deputy Prime Minister, with the greatest respect, had indicated one time that the money was in the bank.
He did.
People still remember that. I certainly remember it. And I just think it's time that the public is fully aware and is told what is the current situation.
And that's the thing,
and
Leslie,
I take grave exception to
yes.
this developer now talking about their work is contingent on the
airport.
opening of the airport.
Right.
I think, you know, they come in tandem with each other, but that doesn't stop you from initiating what you're supposed to do on providing us with the funds that we agreed
He knew that.
to go into people's treasury.
You
So,
knew that
know,
when you
get-
pulled the
get real.
bulldozer in the front of the lanai.
Exactly.
You knew that when you went over to Lighthouse Point
Yes.
and you'll break the champagne and stick
Yep.
the gold shovel
I
in the
was there.
ground. You
I
knew
was
that.
there. Yes, so
Now don't come here and tell
don't
me
play
it's
these games,
contingent.
Mark. Don't play
No,
these
don't.
games.
Well, we
It
don't need
seems
them
as though
playing
you're
the
playing a political
ex-
game. We don't want to play
Don't play these
games.
games.
The group, Wilshire Concord, because the thing
insulted
is,
us.
many people have said, you all just think back for a moment, that this group is synonymous with playing these type games.
It's happened before. The Miami Herald had a big story on that. Don't play the games with the Bahamian people, please.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, gentlemen, and you're right. We need to see something happening. That airport runs very nicely. I went there earlier this year and was stunned to see the efficiency of it. Yes, of course, a new one is desperately needed.
You know-
but it's a nice airport that meaning it could fly things in, ships and harbors and all that stuff in Grand Bahama can sail the material in that's needed to get the project started.
You know, the policy of the late great Sir Lyndon and Mr. Hanna was a very simple one. And I worked with both of those men through the Development Corporation when we owed there, trying to get major developments in the Bahamas, as well as Wicked, close to the Grand Bahama Port Authority. If you say you got the money to do it, go and deposit $20 million in the Royal Bank of Canada. Let's see if you're real. I think we need to go back to that policy.
Yeah.
And these frivolous people, you know, it bothered me, it really bothered me that he bought it up, that it's contingent with the airport. The airport don't have a damn thing to do with your investment. I admit the airport has to be built. It will be built.
Yes.
Okay? But don't come with that because you're insulting our intelligence. That you now got us by the little ones. And if we don't do X, Y, Z, then you can get out of this. We don't appreciate that.
No, absolutely, absolutely not. So we hope to hear something official from our officials,
Yes.
and then also from the Wilshire group. We want to hear something official from you all in
Something
terms of
positive.
Yes, no dates. That's what I'm saying. Dates, timelines.
Okay?
when?
Not the games.
When? You know what I mean? When? Quite legitimate. When? Because Grand Bahama really has a lot in the pipeline,
Lots
as
to
we
think.
heard. And the thing is, but this is sort of at the center of it all. Let's get that moving.
People's
Or-
future
or-
on the
or-
line.
Or say something.
The future on
Come
the
out and
line,
talk to
huh?
the people.
Don't have time for
And
these
that's
little
from our local officials to
petty
them.
games.
Come talk to the people.
Yes.
Well, speaking of come talk to the people, the Royal Bahamas Defence Force Rangers summer
They got
camp.
plenty of people to talk to.
They got many people to talk to. It's under fire tonight. This after parents on the island of Eleuthera, where the camp just wrapped up, came forward this week with damning allegations against the Defence Force officer running the program. A parent from Eleuthera spoke about her son's experience.
She was a little rough.
My heart was just broken. My heart was broken. What really hurt was when they said that he had them drinking the dirty toilet water. I broke down crying because I was supposed to protect my son. My son was so excited to go to this camp. And this ain't no type of boot camp it was supposed to do. He was training to be a ranger officer for over this week. Him and a couple of his friends. You know, they were very excited to go to this course. And by us, you know, went out sponsoring and everything, you know, for them to go to this course. And, you know, just the children just being so excited. And for them to get there and for things like this to happen to people's children. I mean, I supposed to protect my child and I wasn't there to protect him. And that hurt me so bad. That hurt so bad to let somebody mistreat other people's children. Because, you know, and I told my son, I said, you should have told me this right there and then when was the graduation. But I think God had it other way around. He turned it way around so that, you know, things wouldn't happen. But I was going to fight with that man. I don't care the blows or whatever he's going to put on me. I was going to be there. I was going to rush him. I was going to do something. I was going to do something. I was going to fight with him. I don't care. Because that's my one and only son.
Thank you very much, Terrence. You heard that voice note from that woman. very upset, like many others. Other allegations where they were beaten in their sleep. They were forced to drink dirty toilet water, like you heard us say. Allegations also made by some of the boys that the officers made them masturbate in front of the group, and that an officer simulated a sex act on 2 boys. Just wild, really quite worrisome and disturbing. I'm going to get the response from the Hot Topics panelists after this break. Stay close.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And in any business that you're going to take, it's going to be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. This is the business I know it's going to be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself has put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Of course, you all, just before the break, we were talking about the situation involving allegedly abuse of physical, sexual, just torment, really, when you hear teenagers are saying that they were forced, allegedly by Defense Force officers who were running the Ranger program, summer program, on the island of Eleuthera to drink dirty toilet water and all the other things you heard me say leading up to the break. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Leslie Miller and Howard Grant. Gentlemen, this is quite disturbing. I think the Rangers program has been around since maybe the early 90s, and it's been hugely impactful. Just a wonderful way to instill discipline from the most arguably disciplined of our forces, the Defense Force, which is the same as our Army. And to kind of spread that to teenagers, to kind of get them in line and maybe expose them to a possible career, and then to hear this. Your thoughts about what allegedly took place on the island of Eleuthera during the summer program?
It's difficult to be able to ingest the information. It's difficult to absorb it and understand that this is the new Bahamas. It's a difficult thing to envision this. Drinking dirty toilet water. Even in the worst horror film, you couldn't conceive those particular things happening. And to know that in a pristine Bahama land with the desire to be able to pay for your children to go off and get the discipline necessary for the next steps of their life, this is a lot for us to be able to take in, for me. Now, I know that we're still in the realm of allegation. I know that we're still in this position to say that this is allegedly what happened. There has nothing come to the forefront yet. We haven't seen how many persons have been alleged to do this. I don't know whether or not you have a number on those particular things. But I want to say that it feels spiritual. It feels as though we're losing our souls and giving our souls over to the idea of lust and our lasciviousness, our inability to recognize the importance of being able to, like my grandmother would say, put a knife to your throat, an appetite, to cut your appetite, sexual and otherwise. These men were trusted to take care of our children. Right. They were trusted. They should, to the extent of the law, be punished severely. Severely. This is what we need to be able to be very strong with in our society. When it comes to these speculations of persons being killed in Haitian waters and all those things, sometimes some things are out of our jurisdiction, no matter how our heart bleeds. But our government right now could be able to stand at the forefront as a champion for all of us who understand that this is not what we expect from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. We don't expect this from you. We don't.
You know, when reading those articles this morning and listening to the lady crying ready for her son who paid $1,000 to get be a part of this Ranger program.
My God.
I beg and ask the question, is this where we are now as a society? You know, all of us supposed to ascribe to certain norms in our society that we cater to. And as a parent, as a grandparent, I just find it unbelievable that what is alleged to have happened actually did happen. I'm still hoping that, you know, somewhere along the line, maybe one or two of those minor aspects would have happened at the event or the range with those young kids, you know, who say something happened and they know they already didn't see what they saw. That is not the case, because if it is, our society is now gone to a new low as to how we treat our children. And not only that, what's more important, people that we put in their hands that we believe that they would do the best for our children is doing just the opposite for our children. That is what's so damning. What kind of future will we have if this people who we have respect for on this core called Rangers, that's where we are now as a country? Man,
well, my son...
We can do better than this.
My son was in GGYA. My daughter was in, I can't remember this thing where she went out to the backfields and the ponds and checking up all over the mangroves and all these things. My children participate, especially in environmental activities. My son went off, he did all those things, he went through the stages, he stayed overnight, he camped. You see them walking up and down on Gladstone Road. He did all those things, and I never once ever feared that there was something untoward. The campers always called us. They always had this kind of an issue. Whenever there was an issue, they'd call the parents, and they would be able to say, do your child have allergies? Everything was structured. What is happening here that even the formality, the brass of the Defense Force is not ensuring that they oversee this to ensure that these culprits, these maligned individuals don't slip through the cracks? What are you all doing? with our children.
Well, it's really unfortunate because, you know, the saying is they all come from among us, and you don't know until somebody decides to act out or express themselves in a certain way. I did speak with the new Commodore, Floyd Moxie, today. He, of course, didn't want to speak to it because there's a matter now before the police. The one officer, certainly a minimum of one, is on some sort of duty, but he's also been in I guess in the Defense Force terms and in layman's terms, let's say taken into custody and held for some time. And I imagine he's being questioned. Parents are being flown in for interviews along with their teenage sons. Are being flown in here to New Providence for interviews so that they can fully investigate this matter and see if there is any truth to any of these allegations. But it is very disappointing. And if it turns out to be the truth, I mean, hugely disappointing and a real slap, quite frankly, for the Ranger program that has really proven so effective over the years. And a great program to just to have teenagers focused on something that's good, that builds character and all this stuff. And
we don't have much places to send our kids.
No, we don't.
It takes me back to where we used to be. I was a young boy between the age of 12 and 15. Every summer we would go to Wheelkey, being in the Boys Brigade, and this good gentleman, Mr. Herboing, would carry about 120 of us to Wheelkey for 2 weeks. And we look forward to that every year, and nothing of this sense, nothing that we could dream about that these kids say happened to them ever took place on that island. We look forward to that every year we used to go there.
Wow.
And have a wonderful time with each other, get to know each other, and show respect.
The kids were safe.
And we were more than safe.
Yeah.
It's just so disappointing. Disappointing.
It is. Gentlemen, here's the biometric voters cards being discussed once again. It is expected to be, or they are expected to be rolled out early 2026. Now, this evening, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis is supporting the move. Minnis calls it a crucial step in protecting the principle of one person, one vote. While some critics have accused the Davis administration of rushing the process ahead of the next general election, it was the Minnis-led government, and Dr. Minnis was very happy to say that this is an idea that he had in mind to hopefully implement himself, that amended the Parliamentary Elections Act to make way for the biometric voter registration. Now, with the framework already in place, Minnis says embracing digital innovation is key to ensuring a more transparent and secure electoral system.
Modernization. Any procedure that's instituted to advance a country and to advance democracy, to ensure that a one man, one vote principle, I would support. And I think anyone would support that. So if this is to advance democracy and ensure fair and transparency, one man, one vote, decrease the possibility of corruption, dishonesty, then I think every right-thinking citizen would agree with that.
So you see, former Prime Minister Minnis there saying that, listen, this thing should be embraced because it certainly lessens, if not, well, you would hope, but lessens substantially fraud, people maybe going and tricking and voting elsewhere. This brings about that transparency, that level of accountability in the voting process that we've all been asking for many years now. Your thoughts on the fact that this was something that he saw fit to introduce and bill to amend the Parliamentary Registrations Act, but obviously that did not happen before the election the last time, but this was also a part of his vision.
In 1987, now I hear these stories. I just reached on the scene in 81, but in 87, as I travail the city and look for the corners where the elders speak about politics, there's always this sort of allegation that the PLP stole the 87 election from the FNM. Yeah. I know Leslie can laugh, but this is
when I got elected.
When
he brought it himself.
So they said the FNM, the PLP stole the election. The FNM was supposed to win it this year. The introduction of the indelible ink was placed on there. There's sort of an idea, and then Hubert Ingram found himself in this position where he could champion the cause of transparency and speak about this government in the sunshine. That was an incremental step towards the empowerment of one person, one vote, that kind of a concept that existed in that. Now, as time evolves and we find ourselves continuing to be able to move further into the 21st century and the technology that exists in these particular spaces, there is no way that we could sit here and watch the world move at warp speeds around us and we continue to be able to trickle into our election polls and continue to be able to use technology from 1992, right? We've seen the Parliamentary Registration Department make the significant modifications to ensure that they could be able to set the registry to identify those things, to be able to take those persons who have passed away and all those things, to modify it and prepare us for the future that we deserve. I agree with Minnis, 100%. And I agree with the PLP. And I believe that the nature of who we are as a people to always sit in the posture to say, well, I think it's a little bit too soon. Well, maybe if we can do it now, we can do it. It's time to do it now. You have a generation, and I know that there are persons that can give me the strategic and the specific number, but there is a great percentage of young persons, I think it's about 60%, that will be participating in the next general election. I don't see enough information to grab them in. I don't see enough technology to be able to entice them. I don't see any of those things. We have to prepare ourselves.
Do you think this biometric system will be the thing to get their attention?
Will not necessarily get their attention, but at least give an inkling in the back of our minds that our country is preparing itself for the next step. Our country is preparing itself to be able to move in the right direction. These are technologies that have been used 10, 20 years ago for a very long time in other spaces and other jurisdictions. This, the former administration, Minnis administration, has led at the forefront in theory, theorizing this concept of innovation and creativity, but never saw the application. The closest we got to that was the press secretariat, which we never saw the fulfillment of until Clint Watson stepped in the particular position and we saw what this could actually be. So they theorized about the concepts, they created a space for this, and now the PLP coming into this particular thing and executing it. I feel like a campaign, and this is not what the intent is.
It's not like,
we're just talking.
It's not like a campaign in here, Howard.
We're talking.
I don't know what you do elsewhere. I don't know what you do in another. I don't know what you do in other spaces.
You don't like that he said that.
You don't campaign here.
It is interesting that you mentioned 1987 election. You say these accusations were made against the Progressive Liberal Party. Only 2 seats changed hands in 1987 election. Janet Bostwick won her seat, and Leslie Miller won his seat in Blue Hills. That was the only 2 changes. Nothing was wrong with the register. I think what has happened now, it is obvious to many of us who was involved in politics for a long period of time, and the system that's been out there for many years, realize that very often many unscrupulous persons have voted more than one time. And in the 2017 election, there was a massive movement for people voting more than one time. And this new concept that is going to be introduced in January would prohibit that, because as soon as you vote, it's going to go into the system.
217 is a law.
And go into the system.
Leslie, 217?
No, I said 217. I said that's in 2017, the last election.
2017?
Yeah, that's when they saw there was a lot of movement with persons voting more than once. On both sides. Yes, on both sides. And they know that something was wrong.
So then why do you suppose the pushback? Why do you suppose all of, they're
pushback
rushing?
Is just for the purposes of opposition. This is just the nature of politics in our country. There's not enough scrutiny. There's only opposition where there should be intent, at least study, to understand these particular things.
I always think of one quote that Dr. Martin Luther King said, "There's never a wrong time to do the right thing." And it's the right thing to do, the biometric system. It has to be done to enable everybody to feel that no one is cheated out of an election. We're going to have about 15,000 new entrants, new Bahamians voting for the first time, with the 65,000 that didn't vote last time. So you got 80,000 new people to deal with. That's what's going to make an interesting election.
Hold on, Leslie. The 65,000 people who didn't vote last
Yes,
time.
who didn't vote.
They voting this time.
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on now, Leslie. Hold on.
Most of them.
When you see a high voter turnout, that ain't always be good for the PLP.
Don't have to be. It is what it is.
This is a lot.
No, it is what it is.
This is a lot.
And I'm sure that what will happen will happen. I always say, when 6 o'clock comes, that's when the people decided who they want.
But not even the former Prime Minister Christie said.
I don't care what they say.
Prime Minister Christie said it was 3 o'clock in the day. And I said, I went to look for Dr. Minister, and I said, Paula, you lost this. Would you like me to help you with your speech? I laughed too much.
They know by
Listen.
just after the polls close.
No, before then. By
Before
12
then.
o'clock.
Before that, by 12 o'clock, you know.
By 12 o'clock.
Based upon movement.
I used to call my good friend Dr. Norwich. In the 92 election, I say, Jay, we go on. Say what? I say, be gone.
In 92?
Yeah, because when you see these women who will hug you up every time they see you, and they come to the polls and I say, how you doing, babes? Oh,
babes?
I suppose I've been babes. I don't know. I say, how things going?
Babes?
Oh. When you hear that, from 6 different...
They didn't eat your turkey, Leslie.
Yeah, gone.
Your turkey and your ham,
gone. I say, well, thank you very much.
This could be an interesting election, man. But I agree with the biometrics.
Absolutely. Are we daring to make predictions right now? No, we're not.
No,
This is not that show.
I
but
wouldn't.
listen, it's a lot really obviously going on. It is an interesting election. We see that this campaign is also going to be quite a lengthy one because a lot of people have a lot of messages to get through.
But
Yes,
we
Leslie?
also got to get Mr. Bain to pay Ms. Rule her money. You don't lose at the Privy Council. Ms. Rule was in the
Hold on, but I will
hospital.
fix this, though.
She was in the hospital a
I will
couple of
fix
weeks
this,
ago.
though.
The woman is now getting sick.
Hold on, I will fix this, though.
Pay the
I
woman
see
her money.
Dr. Sands take on this position.
Yes, he did this morning.
And says that we need to identify the character of Lincoln
Very
Bain.
important.
Whilst I don't necessarily disagree with him, should we pierce back and peel back to the annals of time and history and be able to look at those same allegations against the now chairman of the FNM?
Who's
Come on,
that?
man. I'm talking about Dr. Sands.
What
I'm talking about the position that happened when the court actually condemned him in this particular position after he stepped down in this space.
Oh, you
I'm
mean
talking
giving that
about
woman that contract?
I'm talking about this. Is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
See,
but
what Grammys say?
That's a different
We
story.
did no
though.
better than Paul.
No.
No, I ain't
This
talking
man
about
take this woman $64,000. Give the woman the money. Because I know you ain't got it to give.
And that will be it. That'll be it.
Get
for
the woman the
tonight.
money. With interest.
That'll be it for tonight.
All right?
Thank
you say
all.
she'll have
It's a
this
good
week.
show.
Get the woman the money.
Thank you
Be
all.
a man.
I enjoy that.
Be a
Tonight's
man.
show, I thank
Okay.
I thank Quentin LaRota, the senior manager in the Ministry of Labor, for being here talking about Celebration Key. Of course, as you saw in the last two segments, Leslie Miller, Howard Grant here stirring up the pot and trying to
That's
stir,
Leslie.
Get the woman the money.
stirring
Ms.
up
Roll,
the
I can
pot.
see that you get your money.
Leslie
How
Miller,
you get these people business?
Leslie Miller, thank you. Howard
How
Grant,
Leslie
thank
getting
you.
your business?
Howard, shut up.
Get the woman the money, Howard.
I want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening.
Ms.
It's
Roll
so
was sick
good to
last
have
week,
you all
man.
here tuning in this evening. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.